Right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. My name is Chris, and welcome to the LifeWave Triple Three Group training on, wow, Thursday, the 1st of February, guys. Can you believe it? The month of January. I think I batted my eyelids and it just like flew past. But wow, we started January with a bang. Um, you guys will see I've got a different background behind me. We've been doing a bit of a road trip in South Africa. We went up north to an area called the Lowveld, an area called White River and Nelspruit. A lot of South Africans know the area. And we've been doing a whole lot of presentations. Basically, from the time we arrived here on Monday, it was straight into training, and then it was presentations two, three times a day. Then it was one-on-one meetings, and I tell you, we do a lot via Zoom. I love Zoom to bits. But let me tell you something: nothing beats in-person private meetings, uh, presentations, patch parties, one-on-ones, and I feel so energized. George just said you're looking good. I feel energized. When you're meeting people face to face and hugging people, there's a certain energy and excitement that you get from that. And when we're talking about associating with patched people, oh, the frequency is just off the charts, through the roof. And what I'm going to talk about this evening, and I'll ask Harvey to join me, is talking about duplication. And I'll tell you why I wanted to talk about this topic. You know, we did presentations the last couple of days, probably over 100 people. And where did it all start? It started last year, March. The very first presentation packed party that we had was at Sandy's house. And guess how many people were there? Three. Three people with our very first presentation. And that's where you start. And a lot of people say, yeah, but we're not able to do it. We don't know how to do that. You know, we've done everything in such a way, put systems in place that it is easily duplicatable. If you look at the presentation, you know, all you have to do is you just open the presentation, and it's in such a way that all you have to do is just basically read all the information that is on the slides. And it's as easy as that, just to get the momentum and get the ball rolling. And you know, when we're talking about presentations and patch parties and that type of thing, we're talking about keeping it duplicatable that absolutely anybody can do. You know, there's a saying in our industry that says, if it don't duplicate, don't do it. And that even goes right down to even a one-on-one presentation, or not even a one-on-one presentation, or one-on-one get together with a prospect. You've got to be quite disciplined in the way of, you might want to talk to the person for 2 hours, as an example. So we're talking to a prospect. You've got to hold yourself back, purposefully hold yourself back, and make sure that meeting that you have is no longer than 45 minutes. And I'll tell you why. Because the prospect, what's going on in their brain, what they're thinking is, can I do this? Can I do this? Do I have time to do this? Because let me tell you, you don't have a second chance to make a first impression. And then what happens is, if you sit there for 2 hours shooting the breeze, drinking 7 cups of coffee, the first thing they're going to think of when they leave, I like what I see. I can't do this. I don't have 2 hours to sit with every single person that I meet. So we've got to be very disciplined. And as George says, you're always in a hurry, but never in a hurry. And in the beginning, when he said that, I wasn't quite too sure what he meant until you start applying it and practicing it. So, yeah, like I was saying, don't duplicate, don't do it. We're in a copycat business, as you've heard many times. Just make sure you are copying the right cat. So, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna hand over to Javi. A lot of people are on this call right now. There's a lot of new people that have joined this most amazing team in the last 3, 4 weeks, and a lot of people haven't met Javi yet. And I messaged Javi last night and I said, Javi, please can you join me this evening, because I'd love people to meet you, see who you are. And anybody that doesn't know who Javi is, Harvey lives in New Jersey in the USA, and he's part of our up line. And we had the honor to meet Harvey face to face in August when we were in Tampa last year. And let me tell you, Harvey comes from the network marketing industry with 15 years experience, and he's been part of Lifeway for just over a year and a half. And he is a mentor, he's a friend, he has guided us, he's helped us grow this team to where we are right now, to the point where we're the fastest growing team in the whole of South Africa Lifewave. And I just want to say, Harvey, thank you so much for everything you've done for us. Thank you for your guidance. Thank you for your knowledge. And thank you for everything that you have shared with us. Over to you.
Well, Chris, I appreciate that intro. I'm honored. Do I need it? No, it's my job to teach people how to win, and I'm glad that you're having the success on this tour that you're having. I think is so incredible. I'm that type of person. I love the belly to belly meetings. I love the look into the people's eyes meetings because that's where the magic happens. The great thing that happened is there's this technology called Zoom that we have right now. When I started, 15 years, I'm in my 16th and a half year now in network marketing, getting into LifeWave, but we didn't have any of this. I was always on planes and trains and automobiles to meet people face to face. So it was difficult back then. The one thing that happened during this global issue that we're having was Zoom, that we could actually meet people face to face. So there's some positives when it comes to that, right? But one thing I want to say, I want to congratulate everybody that's here today, because you could be doing something else, but you decide to invest in yourself and invest in your business and invest in your knowledge and how to increase your level of leadership when it comes to your LifeWave business. Now, when I say the level of leadership, I'm very big on leadership. Those who have known me in the past, I'm very big on leadership because I do what not works, but what duplicates. And one of the things that Chris wants to talk about is we're going to start with duplication. Is not what works, is what duplicates. When I got into this business 16 years ago, I wanted to be successful so bad. I just didn't know how to be. Okay. I was introduced to this business like everybody else on a one-on-one with this woman on the other side of a table explaining to me about network marketing. I was like this, not understanding anything. I was bored out of my mind, but I wanted to change so bad. And it's probably what most people here are experiencing when they first got into network marketing, because good things come into people's lives when it's inconvenient. And it was a very inconvenient time, which probably was an inconvenient time because you said yes to LifeWave. And the one thing I did was I wanted to not be them, but I wanted to have their lifestyle. And in order to have someone's lifestyle is to duplicate what they do, and not their bad habits, but their good habits. So what I did was I became nothing but a copycat. And the one thing that my first exposure, and I'm going to be bouncing back and forth when it comes to duplicating and plugging in, because both go together like peanut butter and jelly. Okay. And it's important to the fact that it goes together like peanut butter and jelly, because what I'm going to talk is going to make a lot of sense to you. And you want to know something? I cannot take anybody to a place that they don't desire to go to. Not only do they not desire to go to, but are willing to do the work to do it. Okay. And I'm going to go back and forth down a bunny trail, because never make a point without telling a story, never tell a story without making a point. And I'm going to use myself as an example a lot, because I think I'm a prime candidate of an example of coming from being very ghettofied when I first got into network marketing to who I am today. I'm a totally different person. Totally different person. Why? Because I chose to do different. How you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay. And that comes in everything in your life. How you do one thing is how you do everything. So I knew I had big dreams. I knew I wanted to be successful. I wanted to influence, but I knew for much is given, much is required. Okay. And I'm going to say that again. For much is given, much is required. But the good thing is that what my upline did, my first club upline ever, was Mike Hernandez and Stephen Gina Merritt. And so happened they're my upline again here in LifeWave, how things come in full circle. So if you're here today, you are where you're supposed to be. I applaud you and I congratulate you because you are where you're supposed to be, because this business cannot be done with just anybody. Okay, business are done with people who you know, like, and trust. Okay, now when I first came into LifeWave and I built the structure of my business, and I first met Chris and I first met George, and they asked me these questions, and all I said to them, just watch my feet, don't watch my lips. Okay, watch what I do. A lot of people say they're gonna do, they're gonna do, they're gonna do, which is fine. But I watch people's feet. I don't watch their lips, because people can talk a good game, but the fact is, are they willing to do the work to get to where they want to go? So going back when I first joined, what was most important, what your sponsor is trying to do, is make you thirsty enough to want to keep drinking. And what do I mean by that? Seeing is believing, believing is seeing. What our job is for life is to go from your head to your heart. When it goes from your head to your heart, the game changes 100%. And why do I mean by that? Because you know the value of your business. You know I call it seeing the ghost. Because if you're somebody's sponsor and you leave the business at you, you're sabotaging your business. And I say this in a loving way, because they're not going to know what else LifeWave is to fall in love with if you leave it at you. Exposure is huge when it comes to your LifeWave business. Starting from your sponsor, moving up, moving up, moving up, moving up, moving up, all the way to Steve and Gina Merritt. I am very big when it comes to exposure. Do I need to do it? No, I don't need to do it. But every person's story impacts someone else differently. Okay, my story with my son with autism can impact the family. Chris's story, Ashley's story, Beverly's story can impact somebody else's story, and that's only done by exposure. Now, when you sponsor somebody and that person is excited to do the business, you should be exposing them to your sponsor and beyond. Why? Because you want them to know that they have the support to do this. Either somebody came into this business with a bad experience that they didn't want to do it again, they took a chance to do it again, and you want as fast as possible to show them that they have the time and the resource and the people that utterly want them to help, that want to help them. Okay, I'm sorry to say there are good leaders and there are bad leaders. Good leaders are leaders that go down to the crowd and they listen to what people need and what they want, and they help them execute, get to what they want to get. Okay, those are purpose-driven leaders. Ego-driven leaders are people who want that fast success. They want to make that fast buck, and it's short-lived. I don't want that to be for you. I don't want you to have that level of leadership. Okay, and that's why when I say people get into network marketing and they say, yeah, I've done that before, it's not that they don't like network marketing, they don't like network marketers. Because it's the network marketers that mess it up for the people who want to grow great things in this profession. So when I started LifeWave and I spoke to the people who started with me, we say we're bringing this profession back. We're going to make people want to be part of This Is It team. Now, if those of you who were on the virtual conference, corporate was also there, and I'm not sure, this was, when I saw this part of the conference, I said, this meeting is over. We don't even have to continue with the other 6 hours. When corporate showed the blue line and the green line of growth, the blue line was LifeWave growth. The green line was the line above the blue line, which was the This Is It team. We, as a This Is It team, outgrew the growth of LifeWave itself. When I saw that, I was like, this is over. I don't have to hear anything else. Why? Because we don't do what works. We do what duplicates. Okay? We don't reinvent the wheel. We don't do things to try to make, there's no shortcuts when it comes to this business, folks. There's no shortcuts. You're going to have to work. Okay? You don't need to be great to start. You just need to start to be great. Okay? And when I got into this, I told you I was so ghettofied. I was not knowledgeable when it comes to this business, but I was willing to educate myself to be a better version of me, to get to where I wanted to go. So when I did that one-on-one meeting with this lady who was much older than me, she made me thirsty enough to want to see another meeting. And at that meeting, I saw Mike Hernandez at that first meeting. And what did I say when I first saw Mike? I said, wait a minute. If this fool can do it, so can I. And his story was, I was poor. I took things out of trash cans. I swapped it at a swap shop. I said, wait a minute. I'm not that bad. I'm bad, but not that bad. But if this guy could get to this level of his life by just sharing a product and helping people do the same, I can do the same thing. But what did Mike do? Mike made me thirsty enough to continue to drink. And I went to Dallas. Now, let me tell you something. I want to share stories. I couldn't afford to go to my first conference. There's no way. So what did I do? I sold a couple of things to get me a plane ticket and to share a room with somebody. And I went there, and my first exposure was Steve and Gina Merritt at that conference. And I saw them speaking. I was thirsty enough to drink. I went there by my little old self with nobody with me. I had no team. It was me, ignorant on fire. And I saw Steve and Gina speak, and I see all these network marketers all over the place, all excited, all happy. I thought that was so weird that everybody was so happy and excited. So, oh my God, I'm not used to this stuff. But it feels so good to be around people who want more life and want to do something about it. I go back home and nothing but negativity. People say, yeah, just stay there. You don't have to do nothing better for your life. But I went, it was a totally different world. I said, you know what? I want to be part of this. That's what the exposure process is so important. And it's not because you're taken away from your leadership. It actually enhances your leadership, because all we're going to do is edify you to your people that you're the leader that they need to be following. So a lot of people don't want to expose their people because they think it takes away from their leadership. It takes away from being the leader of that group. In fact, it does not. If you don't do it, it sabotages, because they're never going to know how big LifeWave is. They're never going to fall in love with the people and other people's stories and seeing other people's grit. Do you know if you hang around people who are successful, your behavior is going to change at least by 20%, which in turn that you're going to be as successful within its appropriate time. Now, for me, when I first saw Steve and Gina Merritt, I said, wait a minute, you know what? I made a decision at that moment. Now, I made this interactive. This is not the Chris show. This is not the Harvey show. I like making Zooms interactive. Now, for people who have been here, not the new people, for people who have been here, every time you saw something, did you fall more in love with the company and the people you work with? Has anyone experienced that? Okay, that's my point. It was the majority of people who are here. Okay, George's first. Listen. I went down in depth and I met Beverly. Great conversation with Beverly. We were on the phone for like almost an hour. 2 days later, she exposed me to George. She exposed me to George. George exposed me to Chris. Look what happened in South Africa. Just for the exposure process. It wasn't Javi that built it. It wasn't George that built it. It wasn't Chris that built it. Everybody built it because of an exposure process. Okay? Now, are people going to come out and say, you know what? How about we try this and how about we try that? Listen, Steve Merritt made $90 million on network marketing. I think I'm going to do what he does. And he never tried this and he never tried that. And he built network marketing by contacting, inviting, and showing the presentation plan over and over and over and over again. We speak to the people who listen. So going back to duplicating, how do we duplicate, folks? How do we duplicate? By resolving people's problems. I don't do nothing different. I don't do these ads. I don't do these funnels. I don't do none of this stuff. Okay? Because by the time let's say I know some people who do funnels, by the time you wait for one contact, I already made 50 contacts. You do what works. You don't do what works, you do what duplicates. And by duplicating, look what happened to Team South Africa. Look how exponentially it has grown. Not only this team, there's another team who is exponentially growing. Why? Because they do what duplicates. And what do? You contact somebody, you talk to the people who listen, you invite them, you show them the presentation, and you duplicate, and you show them over and over again, and how simple it is. And if you make it so simple, people are going to want to do it. Let me tell you something. for those who were on the virtual conference when David Smith was speaking and he got deep into the product, I was like, thank God I don't have to talk like him. Oh my goodness. I got a headache thinking what he was talking about. I says, no way. Thank God we don't have to do that. I'm talking to all. Thank God we don't have to do this because I wouldn't be doing this right now. Okay. That is his job. I talk about what the product does, how it works, and what can it do for you. That's all I do. And think about it. Ask yourself that question. Imagine we all had to be a David Smith. Would we all be here right now? There's no way. Okay. It took me about 6 months to say copper peptides. All right. Photo something modulator. I can't even say that. Okay. And I'm a senior presidential director. Anybody can do this. And how did I do that? By becoming a manager making machine. Listen, I repeat myself like a broken record. Okay. And you don't need two big whales that's going to blow your business up. The whole idea is to have a lot of people do a little bit. I'm going to say that again. You want a lot of people to do a little bit. And it's all about the level of leadership, because right now you all are leaders, and how you grow your leaders by you getting your team to love you. And when your team loves you, then you're going to end up doing the same thing for your team, loving your team, growing that community. Look at this team right here. I know people who call me and said, Javi, what are you guys doing? I said, nothing. Are you doing something? Are you doing something amazing? Why is your organization growing so big? I said, you want to know? Write it down. Okay, hold on. Let me get a piece of paper. I'm going to write it down. And I say KISS. You kiss them? No, I would if I see them. Absolutely. Okay, they said, no, keep it super simple. Love on your team. There's this video that I'm asking the Chris to play at the end of this because it's very impactful, and you're going to understand why as a leader and why this team grows the way it grows because of the dynamics of this video. Now, I'm talking to you with all the love in my heart. I'm very black and white. There's no gray in the middle with me. Why? Because there was never no gray in the middle of me when I grew in my 16-year experience in network marketing. So going back to the beginning of me, I knew there was a process, folks, for me to get to here to what I wanted. I wanted elephant dreams. And what was my elephant dream? I wanted to be a network marketer. I wanted to have a team to lead. I wanted to speak all over the world. I wanted to influence people. I want to be a top rank in a company. I want. But for much is given, much is required. Did anyone ever say that to yourselves here? I want to do this in this company. Everybody should be raising their hands. I'm sorry. I want to be a top ranker. Thank you, Ashley, for being vulnerable and raising your hand. That's why you're going to do big things in this business. I want to be a top ranker. I want to be an influencer. I want to lead a team. But I knew my ghetto self had to change for me to get to that person. And how long did it take me to be finally a top ranker? Did I do great things in my whole network marketing career? Yeah, I had big prestigious ranks. But in order for me to get here, I had to change a lot about me. And that's where it comes to leadership. That's why we have these Zoom meetings, so people with experience can pour into you and give them what they have for free. Okay? Why? People are going to follow people who they know, like, and trust. The speed of the group is the speed of the leader. I'm going to say that again. The speed of your group is the speed of the leader. This is why, okay, let's say you're not like this with your sponsor. You don't have to work with your sponsor. You can go above your sponsor and work with the person who you want to work with. But if you notice, that does not happen here. Everybody gets along with everybody here because I told Chris in the beginning, I am not on my watch going to allow somebody to not respect any leader that's here. No one's going to make any of these leaders dance. Everyone's going to respect everybody. Everyone's going to have community. Everyone's going to show love. Everyone's going to show respect. And we follow that from through and through. Well, from what I can see, I don't know what happens behind closed doors, but from what I see, the results tell me everything. Okay. You can have the business that you want As long as you duplicate what you're being shown. And what have I taught? And what has been duplicated? What's the first step of your business, folks? Can anybody answer? Put it in the chat. What's the first step in your business after you enroll? Interactive. This is where it comes to leadership. Or I'm going to identify you. What am I doing? Name list, that's one, but that's not it. And I do this because I don't want to stretch out of you. I want to make you uncomfortable. Tell people almost. I want to make you uncomfortable because I want you to take that leadership out of you. And how do I do that? Alexandra said it. Going manager. That's the first thing that should be on your mind, is to go manager. Now, you don't have to know everything to go manager. Learn as you go. Okay? Listen, I remember my first week doing this. And when I enrolled Linda Sanchez and we had Andre Duvudi on the phone, he was my most challenging phone call, three-way call in my whole 16 years. My most challenging. Okay? And I said, I went like this, bro, I've been in this a week. Okay? Cut me some slack. I know this thing works. Look what it did to my son. Let's rock and roll. 3 days later, helped him with his neuropathy, and that's all he wrote. Okay? I learned as I went. I didn't have to know about everything about the I don't listen, it's good to be knowledgeable. Okay. And that's why I give it to Dr. Ali. Dr. Ali is like my encyclopedia. You want to know something, just message her. Okay. But I just talk about the patch, what it does, nanocrystal copper peptides, and what it does for you. Learn as you go, learn as you earn. If you want to know everything at one point, I need to know everything before I move on. You're wasting time. You're wasting time. Lean on your upline, folks. Lean on your sponsor. The first thing you should be doing is going manager. And how do you go manager? And let's go in order. You write your names list. I forgot who said that. Okay, going manager, depending on your grit and your ambition level, is how fast you're going to go. Okay, I know people who've gone manager in 3 days. I know many people who've gone manager in 30 days. It depends on, that's why I say, what is your target? What is your target and what's the strategy to hit your target? I want to go manager. When do you want to go manager? We got to ask questions as leaders, folks. We cannot read people's minds. When I ask you, when I talk to you, and Chris can ask, I ask a question after a question after a question. Why? Because I don't want any unanswered questions, any open questions. You want to go manager? Yes. Okay. How fast do you want to go imagine? Next 30, 60, 90 days? Well, I like to do it in the next 30 days. Great. This is what's required. If you want to go manager in 30 days, most of the people who tell me they want to go manager in 30 days, I get them there in 2 weeks. Why? Because the strategy that goes behind it. And how do you go manager? You invite. And what's the toughest thing in this business to do is the invitation. That's the toughest thing, is the invite, to get people to see what you see. Okay, whether it's someone who wants to know about the product or someone who wants to know the business, or both. Okay, or both. Now, I'm a business builder. Okay, I do get customers, but I mostly get business builders because I'm building an empire. I'm building an organization of people who want to do the same thing. But it's going to require one thing, folks. It's going to require one thing. It's going to be tough on some people. Can anyone answer that, Ashley?
You said it's going to require what out of some
One
people?
One thing. Because you and I speak about this. One of the things that what was the hardest thing for you to do? 10 seconds, then I'll say the answer. No.
It's not consistency, is it? Or it is consistent?
It's getting uncomfortable. Getting uncomfortable. Uncomfortable. Getting rejected. People hate to get rejected. And has anyone had to know that it bothered the shit out of them? I hate no's. But I've done it so much and so long that I get a no, it bounces right off of me, because you know what? I know what I have. I know what this thing does. But the more you do it, the more confidence you're going to get. Every no will always lead to a yes. Have you ever seen that remember that song, Row, Row, Row Your Boat? Remember, row, row. So I did this teaching once, and think about like row, row, row your boat. No, 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 yes. Then it's gonna go no, 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 yes, no, 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 yes. Okay, yes, 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 yes. It's gonna get that way with practice. It's going to get there with practice. Listen, in the last 7 days, okay, I speak to 3 to 4 people a day, okay, or do 2 a day, 10 in play. 2 people a day is 10 people a week. 2 a day, do for 7 days, that's 14 people in a week. Is the laws of averages. You speak to 10, you get 1. Out of 7 days, okay, I got 8 no's. 1 yes. 1 yes. And I'm okay. It doesn't bother me, because you know what? This is my dream, and my dream is not for everybody. You understand? My dream is not for everybody. This is your dream. And I'm a firm believer, if you can talk to somebody about your dream and they say no, because they just don't understand. George has a saying, a confused mind always says no. I took that from him, because the one thing I have over everybody here is experience. But the one thing everybody has over here, over me, is experience. And I'm going to learn from you. I've learned from Beverly. I've learned from Beverly through my eating habits. I've learned from George. I learned from Chris. Hey, think about Ashley is 21 years old, 22. I've learned from Ashley too, believe it or not. Why? Because I want to be better than yesterday. The invite. Then people talk about the close. That's so yucky. Don't close people. Resolve a problem. They'll close themselves. Okay, when people call me and tell me, Javi, how do I close this person? I said, did you resolve a problem? He goes, what do you mean? I can't close them. I keep trying to convince them. Well, you're not here to convince anybody to want to better their life. I'm here to resolve a problem that they have. Mike Hernandez resolved my problem by talking about this. I never had to go internationally again to get Alex stem cell injections. Do you remember the problem that was resolved in your life that you said yes to this? Huh, Quentin? Alexandra, Helen, I remember our conversation, Helen, way back when. I'm like an elephant. I remember everything. Why did you say yes? Huh, Tracy? I remember why you guys said yes. It's all about the story. It's all about the story. And you want to know something, folks? Your story is going to impact somebody to do something better in their life. Helen, don't log off. It's okay. It's okay. Come back on. You're shedding some tears. Who cares? I'm stretching you, sweetheart. That's my job. And listen, I'm not here to make people do that. I'm doing some self-evaluating so she could understand that she's created for greatness. I'm calling it out of you. Because guess what? I cried just like that 16 years ago. But Steve and Gina brought it out of me. That's what you call leadership. This is why exposure is different, because I remember why everybody got into this. Everybody. I had a conversation with Quentin the other day. You think I forgot that conversation? And went into archives, baby. I'll bring it up later time in the road, believe me. Why? Because I take it personal. I take personal everybody's story. I say, okay, great. This is what you want. Let's execute. Because I know what it is to have nothing. And if you know what, if I was blessed, and I have to become a blessing to have people get there something. So, I haven't been on one of these Zooms with you guys for a minute, because there's many people here who I work with, there's many teams who I work with, that I want to give them what I have. As leaders, we give what we have. We can't give nothing we don't have. So I'm so big when it comes to leadership, okay, because you can't give something you don't have to raise that leadership lady. Has that put her in tears. Someone needs to hear that story. Never make a point without telling a story. Never tell a story without making a point. People are going to do what they see, folks, not what they're told. You could tell someone to go manager, go manager, go manager, go manager. If you don't go manager, why the hell should they go manager? Huh? If you're not doing meetings or you're not plugging in, what I mean plugging in, plugging into the this is it system, then why should they? The speed of the group is the speed of the leader. If you don't go on virtual conferences, then they're not going to think it's important either. Out of my 16 and a half years, I missed one event. One is because I was going through surgery. If I could have soared through surgery under the knife, I probably would have done it too. But I wasn't able to do it. One. Because I knew something in that conference is going to take my business from here to the next level. All you people, or oftentimes, let me not say all you people, oftentimes people look at the end result. I want to do this, I want to get to there, I want to get to here. But when I said in the beginning of the Zoom, for much is given, much is required. If you are stuck at a place in your business that you have not grown, don't look at your team, don't look at left, don't look right, you need to look at yourself. What am I doing wrong that my team is not duplicating? And if you don't know the answer, trust me, your upline knows the answer. But they're not going to say it because it's called boundaries. I had many conversations with other leaders in this group, and you know what? Chris knows I'll call you out on your shit, on your bullshit if I have to. But I don't do it because I want to be a jerk. I do it because I utterly love you. Till today, Gina gets into me. Javi, you could be doing this better. You could be doing that better. Yes, ma'am, no problem. I'm obedient. Okay, and it doesn't mean I'm better than you. It doesn't mean you're better than me. But didn't I tell you in the beginning of this? We do this as a team, as a whole. That's why people in LifeWave don't have what we have in a virtual conference. People saying, my God, how is your team doing this? You guys are sitting in the corner laughing. Everybody's out by themselves, separated. KISS. Utterly love on your people. You know, during the sessions, we're in the corner with me, Linda, Devuti, 6 other leaders that in our team were there, and we're just laughing while everybody's just doing what we're doing. We're just laughing, having that community. That's the glue that happens in network marketing. That's what people look for. They don't look for bosses. They already have a boss. They look for something that's bigger than themselves. They want to be a part of. This passion and intensity that I have is going to come into you. And that's a passion and intensity that no one can lower. They can't lower it because it's just life, folks. Okay, and I'm not this person like some of these speakers. If you wanted that better, you could do it. Shut up. Listen, how can I help you get there? And how long is it going to take? Is how long it's going to take. Okay, everyone's going to cross that finish line, some faster than others. This is not a freaking marathon, man. It took me 15 years. Now, please don't take my process to be your process, because Quentin is older than me. He has more experience than me, and so does Chris in certain ways, and so does Lucinda in certain ways, and so does Wayne in certain ways, and so does Beverly. They have more experience than me in certain ways, and so does Helen. But what I do is ILT, and write this down: invest, learn, and teach. You invest your time in what you're doing today. You learn what you have learned today, and you teach what you have learned today. This is why when I tell somebody and they have a great sense of success, I say, now teach it. Now teach it. Don't keep it to yourself. Teach it. Make them proficient in the whole idea of this business, which is manager. Getting plugged into this is the most crucial thing you can do in your business. I want you to come here and leave here with some type of knowledge. And let's say you have a manager, let's say you have a team of 6. You get on a call with those 6 and you teach them what you learned. If you don't teach them what you learned, guess what happens? Your leadership lid is never going to increase. Now I'm going to ask a question. There's no right and wrong answer, even for the people who have been in this business for a year or the people who've been in this business for 2 days. I want you to rate yourself as a level as a leader on a scale of 1 to 10. If it's a 4, a 5, a 6, and be honest with yourself. There's no right and wrong answer. If you feel you're a level 4 leader, fine, fantastic. That means your business is at a level 3. And there's a cap there. And you will never pass that cap. And what I'm trying to do is to raise your leadership lid. And how do you raise your leadership lid? You teach what you have learned. Teach what you learn. So if you're a level 4 leader, your business will never, I don't care who you are, okay? I don't care if you're the network marketing guru from 2000 and BC and you float through network marketing, your business will never outgrow your level of leadership. Ever, 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 ever. I tell Chris, I tell Helen, I tell George, teach them. What you learn today, teach it, and teach it fast. And I always want to learn because I want to be better than yesterday. So if you're at a level 7 leader, Chris, and level 7 leader, Lewis, ask yourself, your business is at a level 6. 5 is okay. It's okay number. How do you get there? You pour into your team. You should be having individual meetings with your team outside of this. Remember, you want to have a lot of people doing a little bit. It's okay. 4 is a good number, Sandra. It doesn't matter. I started network marketing. I was a -0. But I was willing to get to the leadership, and I'm still not where I want to be. Why? Because I always want to chase somebody. I never want to be a stagnant leader. I never want to be the smartest person in the room. Because if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room. Get out that room and go into another one. Ever. Why? Because what I cap myself in, if I cap myself on something, then my team is going to be capped on something. And I don't want that to happen. I want to be different. I want to be different than everybody else. I want them to say, what amazing leaders you have on this team. I said, go talk to them. Don't talk to me. They did the work. I'm just a guide. Isn't this fun? I'm just saying. Everyone here has the ability to be as high as they want to be in this business. So go on every trip they want in this business. It's just going to take some work. That's why it's called network marketing, not net play marketing, network marketing. It's going to take work, folks. It's going to take sacrifice. I'm never sugarcoated anything to anybody. It's going to take some work. It's going to take some sacrifice. Chris and Lucinda's on a South African tour. Rock it. And that process, what's going to happen? Their businesses are going to grow. They're going to identify other leaders, or the leaders are going to identify themselves. Do it. Sacrifice. But what's going to happen? They're on this tour with Bridget and Sandy. What happens there? That community is going to grow. Those relationships that's going to grow during that process. They're going to laugh. They're going to cry. They're going to get on each other's nerves. Whatever it is. But you know what? It's going to grow into something so beautiful. I promise you. Okay? You don't think Chris has gotten on my nerves a couple of times? Absolutely. But that's part of the process. And I'm sure I've got on his nerves too. And ask me if I care. I don't. I have had tough talks with Ashley. She's 22. She could be my daughter. I'm sure I pinched her nerve. Ask me if I care. I don't. I want her to be a better version of her. But this is who I am. But this is how I was led. I'm just duplicating what the leadership shows me. I talk to the people who listen. You have a group. Beverly has an amazing organization with amazing leaders by her exposure process. Okay? Her exposure process. She exposed George to me. Do what works, not what duplicates. Stay plugged in. You think that we talk about, listen, get into this is a team training on Saturdays, or look at this Zoom call because we just want you to look at it. We want you to look at it because we want you to grow. There's something that you're going to learn on that Zoom that you're going to have an aha moment. So what? You give an hour of your Netflix time. The gut comes in. So what if you can't talk about curtains with your girlfriend or something? Who cares? You sacrifice 1 hour to educate yourself to be a better version of you. This is the are you willing part of this business. You guys, all 40 of you got on this call because you want to be a better version of you. Congratulations. Way to freaking go. That fires me up. Okay. Chris, last minute asked me, hey, hi, can you do this training with me? Sure. I have no idea what we're training. Until I asked him, what are we training on, by the way? And we talked about duplicating and plugging in. Let's rock. Okay. Because I'm very big on that. Do you guys remember why you say yes to LifeWave, Tracy? I do. What about you, Graham? I do. I remember it all. Sometimes you got to ask yourself when things get hard, and things get hard for everybody, guys. You think things were easy for me? I hit roadblocks. I pressed the restart button many times, but I knew there was a yes that was coming. And when the yes came, what did I do? I immediately asked that person how fast he wants to go manager. The faster you make someone go manager, the faster you'll be able to bloom and add another branch to your tree, and add another branch to your tree, and add another branch to your tree. You want to go manager? Let's go manager. 4 people. 2 people say yes. That's 2 branches for your team. 2 people want to follow the 90-day protocol. No problem. Follow the 90-day protocol. I'll follow you up every week. This person says, oh, forget it. I got my feeling. How can I get that product for free? There's another branch. You help that person go manager. The faster you help people go manager, not director, senior director, executive director, manager, the more branches you're going to have in your business that you can identify another leader who wants to do more in life and want to do something about it. Wait, you want to do something? Let's help you go manager. Hold on, you want to go manager? Listen to me, folks. There's no rocket science when it comes to this business. No rocket science. Chris, can you play that video real quick? I put this video together. And I guys want you to pay attention. Stop what you're doing. You're texting, writing, stop what you're doing. And I want you to look at this video. there's people on a Zoom call right now who are living the things that are people living in that video that you see right now, that I know personally. How are we as leaders helping those people resolve their problem? How? A lot of people are so afraid to talk about this thing called money because it make them feel yucky. We wouldn't have a business if we didn't have an unbelievable product. We didn't. We don't. I lead with the product, or I lead with the business, or I lead with both. The good thing is, as you grow your business, it's not that you have to do it, you get to do it. Okay? There's so many people out there struggling, folks. The fact that you ask questions is what we do to resolve a problem. By asking questions, whether it's physically, emotionally, spiritually, or financially. Okay? Now, when I ask questions, I get the answer that I want to fit LifeWave in there. Our job is to be a better version of us, and we are servant leaders. I went to dinner the other day, and we had two servers at a table, but there's one particular server was going extra. And I'm just staring at him, and I kept on staring at him, and I kept on staring at him. And Olga goes, "Why are you staring at him?" I said, "Because he's different. He is different." I came to him, I said, "Hey, come here for a second." He came close. I said, I put $50 in his apron. I didn't even close the bill. And I said, "I was just called to give this to you." And I did it because I can. I don't know what's going behind closed doors with this man, African-American man, but he called to me to do it. Because us as leaders is to make a difference to do that. Is to be servant, grateful leaders. And if I didn't have the profession, I wouldn't be able to do that. I still close out the bill by giving him a tip. Why? Because we are to make a difference in the world. And we can do that through here. Did it hurt me? Oh, people, my God, you gave him $50? Yes, I did. Because I can. And so can you. So can you. But the only way to do something like that is to be a better version of you. And you give it in your own way. Give it in your own way. But there's only two ways to have exponential growth, people. We don't do these Zooms to have a book club and to see each other's faces. We do these Zoom calls so you can learn something to be a better version of you, so you can help someone be a better version of them. So if you're struggling now and something in your life is being affected, whether it's your finances, whether it's your relationship, whether it's something, that means a breakthrough is coming. What does the devil do? What does bad energy do? It attacks something that's going to distract you from the prize. You know, coming here and talking to you guys is such a joy for me, because believe it or not, I get nervous when I speak in front of people. That might not be believable, but I do. But I say one thing, I ask God, speak through me what these people need to hear today to help them be a better version of them tomorrow. That's all I got, Chris.
You know, every time you talk, notes. We continually, I'm like a sponge. You all watch SpongeBob SquarePants. We've all got to become like SpongeBob SquarePants. And we've just got to take everything and learn. Harvey, thank you so much for what you shared with our beautiful team this evening. I think touched a lot of people's hearts. You know, what you were saying, everybody is going through something. And we possibly be the answer that people have been praying for. And we just don't realize how close that is. And all we've got to do is just remember that we are the messenger, a messenger of hope. And we got to have no expectation on the outcome. And it's our duty, it's our obligation to share what we have in our hands right now with other people. And yes, you might get rejection, but that's not got nothing to do with you, nothing to do with you. And all we've got to do is just speak to enough people. And thank you for the reminder of KISS. And yes, when we do see each other for the first time, we do hug and kiss each other. I remember when I met Harvey for the first time in person. I think he gave me the biggest bear hug. I think I nearly popped. And
Well,
that's
the
just
only difference with that was, Zoom tricks people. I thought Chris was my height. He was like 6 feet tall. My face went to his chest. So it's okay. They'll make a patch for that at some point. They'll make a patch for that. Listen, George is like 7 feet tall too. So my face went to his belly. So go figure. So listen, it's the last thing that comes to my mind when things come to me. I like to say it. If you're not a manager yet, okay, if you're not a manager yet, and you really want to focus on being a manager, just press the restart button. You get with your sponsor and say, I want to launch my business. The faster you enroll somebody and you launch their business, and this is where the urgency comes in, folks. If Chris was to enroll me today, I would expect Chris to tell me, where do you want to go in the next 30, 60, 90 days? How fast do you want to run? I say, Chris, I want to run fast. I want to be manager within 30 days. Then we need to launch your business within the next 48, 72 hours. Now, when I say launch a business, I've launched Wayne's business. Wayne had 12 people there. He had only a couple of people. I have launched other people's businesses here. It doesn't have to be of 25, 30 people. It can be of 3. It can be of 4. Doesn't matter. Launch. And out of those people that are on your Zoom call and they want to duplicate what you do, then you launch their business. That's how you create momentum. For one season, and a show of hands, for one season, can you sacrifice? Can you sacrifice time, maybe some sleep, to get to where you want to go in your life? Can you do that? Or 10 hours of sleep is that important to you? Unless medically you have to do it, then hey, I get it. I sleep an average of 4 or 5 a night, not because I don't want to. I'm just so obsessed with what I do. 3 in the morning, I was up yesterday doing an Australia call at 4. 7 o'clock, I was tired as hell. But I know what my target is. I know where I want to go. It is a sacrifice, George. Don't use my words. Don't twist my words. I know what you're trying to say. But are you willing? Are you willing to go through those no's and going up to the top of the mountain, and that's where you want to go, the top of the mountain, and you're willing to go left, and you fall in and you scrape your knee, and you're going to the right, and you end up going into barbed wire, and you go to the left, and you meet a blue M&M, and you're building a little team there, and you go up again to the left, and you know what, you hit a stone wall, and you're, oh man, that shit hurt, and you go to the right. Are you willing to do that? Then you're in the right place. If you're not, that's fine too, no judgment. But you guys say yes for life, wait, for some reason. You gotta ask yourself that. I asked that to me every day, why I said yes. Every day. I wake up, and before my feet hit the ground, I say, who can I inspire to be a better version of them with this? Before my feet hit the ground, I do that every day. Thank you for what I have. I pinch myself every day. But my mission is not over until I can get 20 SPDs from this Zoom to be 20 people on this Zoom to be SPD. My mission is not over, because I'm making a statement. They say it can't happen in South Africa. Bullshit. Look what's happening in South Africa right now. And they're just getting started. Okay, look what's happening in Mexico. It can't happen in Mexico. Bullshit. Look what's happening in Mexico. And we're just getting started. Oh, Ashley's 22 years old. Forget about it. She's going to be hot to trot and everybody else to see. I promise you that. It's just a moment. Oh, it's not happening in Germany. Alexandra's going to lead the way with Harold out there for sure. Oh, Cyprus, Israel, Helen got that on lock. Dr. Ali is going to own the UK. Listen, I'm professing everything here. I'm speaking into existence. I get into this stuff. I get too into it. I get too into it. Anyway, I promise that's all I got. Thank you for having me come in and speak to your team, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you, Harvey. Thank you so much for coming. We're sending you a virtual hug. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you lots. Guys, enjoy the rest of your evening. God bless. Have an awesome, awesome week. And just remember, you could be changing a person's life. You could actually be saving somebody's life. And all you've got to do is talk to them. And what's the worst thing that you could hear? No. If you hear the word no, it's not going to kill you. This is the easiest hard work that you'll ever do in your life. And you know what? Do it with a smile on your face. Do it with a beautiful heart and watch magic happen. Harvey, thank you. Love you lots. Love you guys all. And see you on the Zooms. Tomorrow night, linking in with the USA team, and then Saturday night training, and then normal Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Get your people onto the Zooms. Don't recreate the wheel. Let us serve you. That's what we're here for. Love you all. Night, everybody. Bye, guys.